The form of the present simple. We form the present simple by putting the verb on the base form, after the subject, and sometimes by adding s to the verb. We add s to the verb if the subject is a third person singular, he, she, or it. Some examples of base form verbs: eat, like, crash, fly, etc. With I, they, we, and you, the verb will always be on the base form. I write the homework every day, or we write the homework every day. On the other hand, if the subject is he, she, or it, we add s to the verb. So if the subject is I, we say I play with the ball, but if the subject is he, we say he plays with the ball all the time, or she plays with the ball all the time. In some cases, we add es instead of s to the verb. Typically, these are verbs that they end with these letters: o, ch, sh, th, ss, gh, and z. He goes to school every morning. As you can see here, we added es to go instead of s because go ends with o. So he goes to school every day. In other rare cases, if the word or the verb ends with y, we replace the y with ies. The bird flies in the sky. Here are some examples of verbs that are used with he, she, or it. So write becomes writes, go becomes goes, and cry becomes cries. In the present simple, sometimes we can use verb to be as a main verb instead of action verbs. For example, I am a teacher. We use am with I. He, she, or it is old. We use is with he, she, or it. They, we, or you are doctors. We use are with you, we, and they. Here we used you as a plural form, but sometimes we can use it as singular form, like you are a doctor. When do we use the present simple? First, we use it with usual or regular actions. For example, I usually go fishing at the weekends. So in most of the weekends, I go fishing. Most of them I go fishing. So when I'm talking about repeated actions that I'm doing most of the times, the routines, we use the present simple. Also, we have he plays the violin. So he has the ability to play the violin, and he plays it. He plays it sometimes, he plays it every day, maybe, always. Repeated actions and routines are used in the present simple. The second use here is general existence or stating facts. So when we are talking about information or facts that are true, we use the present simple. The earth goes around the sun. So this is information that is true. This is a fact. So with facts we use present simple. Water boils at 100 degrees. This is a fact that is used with the present simple. Third use here is dramatic narrative. When we are talking about theater, sports, or events. For example, Ali takes the ball, Ali passes the ball. Ali shoots the ball and he scores a goal. So here we are talking about sport. And with sport we talk about dramatic narrative in present simple. The last use here is timetables. We simply use Present simple with timetables for classes, for any timetable. The train leaves at 2 o'clock. The class starts at 9 a.m. Present simple in the negative form. In any tense in the English, whenever we want to change a sentence from affirmative to a negative, we use the word not. Let's take the first example. I am a teacher. So in this case, we have a verb to be here. So we simply add not after the verb to be. So I am a teacher becomes I am not a teacher. The second case, where we don't have a verb to be, I play football. We have an action verb, but we don't have a verb to be to put not after it. So we will ask for help from a helping verb, the verb to do. We will put a verb to do and not after the verb. But what is verb to do? A verb to do is a helping verb that is used when we don't have a verb to be on the sentence and we want to change the sentence into a negative or a question. With I, they, we, and you, we put do. With he, she, or it, we will add es and we have does. As we've mentioned before, verbs that ends with o take es, so do, does. Since the subject here is I, we will use do. So I play football becomes I do not play football. Let's take another example with different subject. He plays football. The same process. He plays football becomes he does not plays football. But since does here took es, plays loses the s and gets back to the base form. So it becomes he does not play football. Present simple in the question form. In the question form we have different cases. The first case where we have a verb to be in the sentence. So he is a doctor. In this case, we simply switch the places between the subject and the verb to be. So he is a doctor becomes is he a doctor? We change the capitalization between he and is. The is becomes capital. Is he a doctor? And of course, we add a question mark. Is he a doctor? The second case, where we don't have a verb to be. Again, we will ask the help from verb to do. Since the subject here is they, the verb to do here is do. It's not gonna be does. So we write the sentence as it is. We put a verb to do at the beginning and we change the capitalization. We add a question mark and the question is ready. They watch TV. Do they watch TV? This is the question. The second example, or the third example, he watches TV. The same example with different subject. So the same process, we will write the sentence as it is. We will add a verb to do, and since the subject here is he, the verb to do is does. Does he watches TV? Something is wrong here, which is es. Since does here took the es, watches loses the es and gets back to the base form. Does he watch TV? we change the H into the small letter, we add a question mark, and the question is ready. He watches TV becomes, does he watch TV? The last form here is long answer or information, asking about information, adding question word. We simply add a question word at the beginning of the question. So, he watches TV. Does he watch TV? Where does he watch TV? The last thing here, changing the D into a small letter, and the question is ready. Present simple and the timeline. So, from the past, present, into the future, where is the present simple? Where does the present simple exist? The present simple exists everywhere because it's repeated actions. It's talking about repeated actions, regular actions or usual actions. That's everywhere. I play football every day. Every day here talks about yesterday. I played football yesterday and I will play football tomorrow. When I'm talking about timetable, when I say that the class starts at 9 a.m. It starts at 9 a.m. today, and it started already at 9 a.m. yesterday, and it will start tomorrow at 9 a.m. So, present simple exists everywhere. Signal words in present simple. In this tense, we have some words that are commonly used. For example, always. I always play football at night. Never. I never drink coffee in the morning. Every day, let's say, I read novels every day. I normally wake up early. I often watch TV in the afternoon. I hardly ever drink cold juice. I sometimes drive fast. And I usually sleep late.